Let's bring in Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress for more on this development. Mr. Felix Morka, thanks for joining us on the program this evening. We've seen what appears an overwhelming support from the National Assembly as regards to Mr. President's proclamation. But I'm sure you're also hearing certain reservation as to the way and manner the lawmakers went about this. A section of Nigerians were expecting that this would be put to actual electronic voting, knowing who is voting for what. But what we saw instead was a voice vote. How's your party reacting to this concern?
The All Progressives Congress is really pleased to see the National Assembly come together, to see a multi-partisan approval of the proclamation of emergency rule in Rivers State. Now, that is what you expect in a democracy. This is the National Assembly that is comprised of not just members of our party, but also members of the opposition, but who decided to put the national interests above partisanship, who decided to say, you know what, the people of Rivers State deserve to have their peace. And the national assets that are located in that state deserve to be protected. And that's all the president is seeking to do, is to protect, the people of Rivers State, to ensure that governance is extended to them, but also to, protect critical assets that are in Rivers State. Because unfortunately, the political circumstances that have been created in the state didn't quite give any confidence to the government and to Nigerians that, we will not see a rapid deterioration of the situation in that state.
Part of the recommendations we're hearing from the National Assembly is the need to get the warring factions together back on the table to have conversation. What role do you see the federal government play in all of this?
Look, now we have at least some structure of government in Rivers State. Yes, I think that every Nigerian should hope and forward to, some rapprochement on a part of the political actors so that we can restore some level of, good governance in that state. Prior to this, we must not forget the context, what led us to this point, where, the governor of Rivers State, just barely a couple of months into his administration, was seeking to oust the Speaker of the House of Assembly. And when that didn't, when the Assembly didn't give in to that, he literally stripped them of every financial support and then proceeded to destroy the complex, the House of Assembly complex in Port Harcourt. Now, when he did that, that day, Governor Fubara destroyed government in that state. Governor Fubara, subverted democracy when he attempted to abolish an arm of government, the legislature. You don't do that. Democracy, requires the coexistence of the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. So what he did was, a frontal attack on democracy. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court said. And he created the conditions, which is why, as far as I'm concerned, he is the author of the extreme events